Welcome back, Jet fans. However many of you are still left out there.
Good
uh,
point.
I'm back with Ed. I did a little quick video the day Joe Douglas, the news broke that he got fired. Uh, I was in the car. I heard something about Joe Douglas, Joe Douglas. I'm like, did something happen? And I just kept fishing around the stations, and I'm like, wow, they let him go. Uh, so yeah, I gave some opinions on that, and I'll share them again with Ed. But Ed, you where were you? Were you on vacation still when this happened, or?
Yes, I would. Well, I was for the game. I was in Aruba. I was not enjoying the game in part, but not all the time. And,
Right, right, yeah.
at a poolside bar for the duration of the game.
Yes, that's great.
There was a couple. Shockingly, there was a couple of other Jet fans there with me. So I wasn't the
Okay.
only Jet fan there. So that was shocking and surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, what do you think of this? I mean, I think it's a little surprising, but let me give you the floor first.
The Joe Douglas firing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I mean, to me, it makes no sense because we're past the trade deadline. It is what it is.
Mhm.
He's in the last year of his contract. What? Why? I mean,
Yeah.
when you read the reports, they said because they want to start the search right now. But it's to me, it's a little bizarre because there's nothing to do at this point for the most part because as we said, he passed the trade deadline. He's in the last year of his contract. What could he have done now? Why fire him now? Why not just let him finish out the season and then start over, start the search in the clean house and start the search in the offseason? I don't know what message they're trying to send. What do you
Well,
think?
I don't know about the other GMs, and I'm guilty of not doing any research on it, but I would say he's probably one of the more successful GMs. I mean, they're going to keep talking about a Zach Wilson incident. I mean, the people he brought to the team, it's funny what Joe Douglas has brought to the team and what Woody Johnson was willing and able to do as far as shelling out money and getting Hassan Reddick along with Joe Douglas's help and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I mean, I don't really think it's Joe Douglas's fault. I mean, what else? I mean, how much better can he have possibly done, in my opinion?
Well, they were agreed. I mean, he had the one great draft, right? You had Garrett Wilson, you had Sauce, you also had Jermaine Johnson in that draft, and there was somebody else.
Mhm.
There was four, and Brees Hall. He had four starters in that draft. That was a great draft.
Yeah, yeah,
But he also drafted Becton, which was a bust, and Zach
yeah.
Wilson too. So and his record was it 30-60 or something along those lines. So that
Yeah,
wasn't.
the record. It's funny. I mean, the record is the record. I mean, it's like you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't force the train. I mean, Woody Johnson and Joe Douglas, I feel, are responsible for putting this allegedly great football team together. I don't know if they're responsible for them losing the games. I mean, nobody knows what's going on there, why that's happening. But I mean, I think Woody Johnson did his thing with getting these players and shelling out the money, and I think Joe Douglas did his thing. Now it's like, is it the coaching? Nobody, that's going to be the question that's going to go on for a long time now. How and why is this team failing so miserably? Uh, so I mean, yeah, I think we're just about done cooked. The time on the oven has gone off, and I think
Their eggs are
you
done,
know
Dave. It's over. I mean, it's a disaster. It's
we're
gonna get
holding on to like a glimmer of hope, and now obviously we know they're not going to win 7 games in a row. So here's the next question, jumping ahead now, and of course we have the bye week, and boy, what excitement during the bye week! I mean, for not the right reasons. I mean, but it's crazy with the news. Uh, I'm sure you heard this whole thing happening now with Woody Johnson recommending that Aaron Rodgers be benched after the fourth game of the season.
Yeah, I was reading. There was an article in the Atlantic that came out. I actually read it this morning, and it was interesting to talk about how he met with the coaches and he said he should be benched. And they were like in fact, they were according to the article, they were in shock. And they actually was saying when after he met with them, was he serious? Was that a joke? Like it was interesting to see that
Yeah,
after
yeah.
game four, yeah. Which makes
I
to me,
mean,
I don't know, it's bizarre because why would you invest all this money and after 4 weeks you're saying that? I also heard that in that same article that's saying that he really stepped in and was and was really cutting Joe Douglas out. They said that Joe Douglas wanted to offer Aubrey Huff an extension and he said no.
right, right, right.
They
Yeah, I mean,
said that
some.
other GMs one day said every GM warned him don't bring in Hassan Reddick because he has this issue unless his contract's gonna be worked out. It wasn't worked out, and that bit them. So there's a lot going. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of things going on. Maybe in a couple years we'll read the Joe Douglas book that no one will buy but you and I, and we could read about what actually happened here, what was going on.
I would love to read a lot of books, even a solid book, any book, because like we all know, like what's we're not we're not we don't know what the truth is. They got to spin it
Exactly.
a
We're not
certain
privy
way.
to all the information that was
Yeah,
all the things that were going on. Who was the driving force behind bringing Aaron Rodgers in the first place? Was that Joe Douglas or was that Woody Johnson? I mean, what
yeah.
even I don't know. Do you know, Dave? I don't know. Was that who do
Well,
we
I
know?
mean, I would think it might be Woody Johnson because I remember him saying we're just a quarterback away, and I guess, and obviously they had the choice at maybe between him and Derek Carr, but they knew they really wanted Aaron Rodgers, so waiting for him to come out of the darkness, and that's why Carr went to the Saints. But I would think it'd be Woody Johnson. I mean, he's making a splash. He's shelling out the money, and they're only a quarterback away, and we all know what they expected to happen, and it's the furthest thing from what we expected to happen right now. Now, the only other question now that everybody is waiting for, and this is like, this is very dramatic. Everybody's waiting for a press conference from Aaron Rodgers to get his opinion on this whole thing. And, I mean, this is really, I guess I could say it's far-fetched, whatever. Will Aaron Rodgers start again? Will they say, hey, I mean, that's something to talk about. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I think we touched on this a little bit last week, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm of the opinion that listen, you gave him all this money, you bought him in, you're gonna ride him until
yeah,
he rides out of town, until he's done, until he breaks. So
right,
I
right.
mean, Kyrie Taylor is. I mean, if you had Tommy DeVito like the Giants are starting, and you
Yeah,
had a young guy who you could take a look at, maybe then you put him on the bench, but we don't.
yeah, yeah.
We
I'm
don't have that.
glad.
Put him in. I would leave him in until his arm falls off or his knee falls off.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject too now because the Giants, for the first time in a long time that I can remember, they're right up there with the Jet News, in my opinion, if not even slightly more so, with the fact that Danny DeVito, the third string quarterback, got elevated to the first string, and the one and two
Maybe I had a
quarterbacks
slip
just.
there. It's Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Oh, did I say? Did I say?
You said Danny DeVito. Yeah, it's Tommy DeVito.
I've said that so many times in the past too. But yeah, Tommy DeVito. That's a whole crazy political thing. Everybody sees through this, and obviously all the sports fans know that Daniel Jones is guaranteed some kind of money if he keeps playing. They know that who's the quarterback there, the second string? Just lost it for a second. He has some incentives coming his way if he was to start. So they threw him under there and let him
Yeah, but
sit.
it's fun though. Let him play. I mean, there's excitement for Giant fans that we don't have. I mean, and we're in the
It
same
is.
boat,
It's excitement,
you
Ed, but the problem is he has no business starting. He's only starting because they don't want to pay these guys the money that they could possibly make. And that's the whole problem with most of the football organizations, including the Jets right now, is that it's not about the best person playing. And this really brings this to light. And it's the honest truth. You know what I mean? Like they are not going to sit a first rounder or high paid quarterback, no matter how bad he's doing for the most part. That's why you need a coach that would bench Rodgers. Rodgers would have been benched a long time ago. He would, they would be like, listen, you're missing people. People are wide open. Even Rodgers is admitting it. You're not mobile in the pocket. You know, there's no way they're going to bench him. Just like there's no way they're going to start Daniel Jones for the Giants because of the money. So it has nothing to do with how good or how bad these guys play. And I think that's proven with Aaron Rodgers and is 100% proven with the Giants situation and Daniel Jones.
agreed. But you have a local kid who you could get a little
No, I
excited.
get it, Eddie.
And who knows?
I know it's great.
Maybe he catches fire. He's young. Maybe who knows? I
Yeah,
agree. But
yeah.
but
I hear all
Harry
that. I know
Taylor.
it's going to be exciting, but the problem is, the reality is, should he be starting? Absolutely not.
Well, the team needs a spark, and maybe they'll give him a spark. I mean, Tyree
But
Taylor's not going
I,
to give the
I,
Jets a
I,
spark.
I don't know if you're missing the point or not, but he has no business starting. I agree there could be a spark. I agree it's exciting for the Giant fans, but you got two guys who are like, "What the hell did I do that I got benched?" That's really that's the bottom line.
No, agreed. But it's still, to me, it's different story than the Jets because you're going to get nothing out of Taylor,
Yeah,
journeyman backup
yeah.
quarterback. Either way, it's funny. I saw a meme today, Dave. It was kind of funny. It was talking
Hmm.
about older quarterbacks who had moved on late in their career.
Hmm.
Joe Montana goes to the Chiefs. They go to the AFC title game.
Hmm.
Peyton Manning goes to the Broncos. They go to two Super Bowls and they win one. Tom
Hmm.
Brady joins the Bucks. They win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers joins the Jets and he gets the coach and the GM fired midseason. I mean, it's just kind of a typical
Listen,
Jet.
the not so funny thing is the only thing we can really attribute this to is that there might really be a curse on the Jets because there was absolutely no other explanation as to what goes on with this team, and
No
it
name
kind of
it
makes it.
sold his soul for a championship. So if he's to get that win 1969 was going to be it for the Jets. Joel Namath sold made a deal with the devil back in 1969.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, so we're going to see what happens. Now we have I guess they're going to have their mandatory press conferences. Not too far future, and then we're going to see what Aaron Rodgers says. And the unfortunate thing is every time you hear these mandated press conferences, and we all know it, and it's kind of like I watch them and I'm like, what am I watching here? Oh, that was a tough defense. Oh, this is who deserves to start. Like they just say the correct, politically correct things. It's a little
Yeah.
annoying and stuff like that, but we got to play along with it.
I still think that I'm curious to see what I mean the defense. I mean just going talking a little bit about the game. As I was a
Yeah,
little although it was less. I said it was less painful because I was sitting in Aruba in a pool bar
yeah, yeah,
watching.
yeah,
We still we saw who was next to me, Dave. So it was a little that took the
yeah,
pain
yeah, yeah,
as
yeah. That was
well.
definitely
But I mean, the defense didn't played hard, 13-0 early on, right? Then the
Mhm.
defense tightens up. Then they can't hold them. I mean, they got one thing to do at the end. I mean, to me, it was like the
Yeah,
defense that's kind of is mailing it in after Salah got fired.
yeah. And I guess I don't know if it's two games in a row I lose track, but they basically had the lead and said, okay, we're going to leave it up to the defense because the other team has to score a touchdown. It seems like a
And they got
no-brainer.
let down. And they got let down.
You can't play. Why didn't you go for two? Why didn't you go for the first? No, you're saying my defense just has to stop them from scoring a touchdown. That's it.
Yep.
That's a great coaching decision. I don't know what's going on. I mean, whatever. So, like you said, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think we could agree Rodgers is not coming back next year.
No, but I don't think he
Yeah,
would.
yeah,
Why would he want to come back? Even if
yeah,
he wants to play, yeah, why the hell would he want to come back to this disaster?
yeah. I mean,
Why? And
so
I don't want him back. I mean, it's a shit show.
yeah, and I mean, like I said this many a seasons. It is a comfort for the wrong reasons, knowing okay. The Jets are out of the playoffs. I can just watch the games now. If they lose, they lose. There's something. It's a lot less painful if they're winning and lose a playoff game or lose a last game to get into the playoffs. I guess now I could, kind of relax and watch the game and get a good chuckle every now and then.
Not be emotionally invested in it like they
Right,
were.
right. It's like okay, it's whatever, it's done. And obviously, Ed, it's going to be unless there's some miracle. Now I know next year and the year after, it's going to be quite a few years before anything happens with this team. And I think somebody said today, Woody Johnson said this is the most talented team he's had since he's been here, but then he goes ahead and fires Joe Douglas. It's like, it's, listen, it's everybody's making fun of the Jets. They're the laughing stock of the league right now. Uh,
That is
and
true.
it is what it is. I mean, so we'll just look forward to the press conferences. If anything breaks, maybe I'll make a video. Otherwise, I guess Rodgers will be starting. He'll say the right things, and we'll see what happens next.
One last thing now, David. There's another
Yeah.
funny thing. There is one good Jets team, the Winnipeg Jets. They won 15 of their first 16 games in the NHL. There was a funny little thing with that too. That the Winnipeg Jets have won 15 of their first 16 games this season. Meanwhile, the Jets have won 15 of their last 40 games. So it was
Wow.
so there is one good Jets team somewhere in professional sports. Unfortunately, it's in Canada, but not here. But
Well, I just know now it's going to be a long, long time before I see the Jets become successful. Unless we have a Bill Parcells type of guy step in here and take like Parcells did a 1-15 team and make them 9-7 the next year. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm lost and confused.
I am as well, Dave. I mean, what's the
Yeah,
conclusion?
everything I thought I knew about football and all these years. Oh, we just need a quarterback. We just need a good this and that. And we need a running back. We have all these pieces, and it's as bad as ever. All right, Ed, until next week or sooner. All right, I'll be in
All right, Dave.
touch. All right,
Always, Dave. Thanks for having me.
all right. Thank you, buddy. Bye bye.